You know what happened to Savannah's? Her head fell off. It kind of went like this, you know. It was kind of funny. So we've already had a lot of fun, hadn't we? Have you ever tried to thread a needle? I tell you, I used to just thread them needles and now I'm like, whoa, and you get over there and you get by the light and you get a lot of light, and I just, luckily my sewing machine has this little attachment that sucks that thread right through it, and I don't have to fight with it. But when I have to hand sew something and thread that needle, it is so hard. But there's a story in the Bible that kind of reminds us of that. And it's about this young rich man that came to Jesus. And he asked what he needed to do in order to go to heaven. And Jesus answered him, you know the commandments: do not murder, do not commit adultery, do not steal, do not lie, do not cheat, honor thy father and mother. And this guy's like, no problem. I already follow all the commandments, never broken one. And Jesus told him that there was only one more thing he had to do. He had to sell everything he had and give the money to the poor. And this young man left disappointed. He could not do that. He walked away because he was very wealthy and unwilling to give up his wealth and belongings. And Jesus turned to his disciples and said, it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle. Now that eye is that little bitty thing that you try to get the little bitty hollow in, that you try to get the thread through. Having trouble with that, aren't I? Thread through. That's what they call the eye of the needle. So it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of the needle than it is for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Can you think about trying to get a camel through the eye of a needle? That seems impossible. But does this mean Jesus is saying it's impossible for the rich man to go to heaven? He's not saying that. With men, Jesus said, with man, this is impossible, but not with God. With God, all things are possible. And I got to tell y'all a good thing that happened to me, because I'd asked God for the help. One of our little beagle dogs come up missing, and we call her Mammy because she's our oldest one. She's 12 years old. And she just come up missing. We've been letting her just kind of run loose because, we have a little bit of kennel problem right now. We have too many dogs for where they can stay thanks to the tornado. Some of them have to just stay out. And Mammy's always there. Mammy doesn't go anywhere. Her name is Friday. She doesn't go. She just kind of piddles around. She'd been missing for 4 or 5 days, and somebody put a post on Facebook, and we got a hold of them, and he said, she was here yesterday, but she's gone. And then last night, somebody else called us, and they had her. So Mammy got to come home last night. So say nothing is impossible with God, because after this many days, I got to admit, I was a little worried about Mammy. It's not impossible with God. Any problems that we have, we can take to God like this, and he'll help us, okay? So let's have a prayer, a bulletin, and y'all can get you a little treat out of the basket there, okay? Most kind and gracious Lord, we thank you so much for letting us know that with your help, any need that we have is possible. Thank you.